In the NBA, the finals have been won and people are talking about it for all sorts of reasons. Why? Because the champs are the Golden State Warriors, a team that hasn't been whole for years due to injuries and the departure of a key player. But in this year, on this season, the team was able to get everything back to championship level, and as a result, they went to the NBA Finals and won it. But because of this, fans and critics have been noting a lot of things, not just about the team, but about their lost player in Kevin Durant. And he had some interesting words about them too. The fall. Now before we get to the reactions and Kevin Durant, we need to talk about how this was a true return to form because for a while the Warriors were lost. For this, we need to rewind 8 years, back to when Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Coach Steve Kerr, and more came together to shock the world and win the Warriors their first NBA title in a long time. They did it with shooting skill, defensive presence, great role players, and a lot of drive. The next year, they did their infamous 73-9 season that ended with a Game 7 defeat to the Cleveland Cavaliers, starring LeBron James, in the NBA Finals. But that just made them more determined to never lose like that again, and they didn't. Because they went and signed Kevin Durant to shore up their ranks, and they won back-to-back finals, one of which was a sweep on LeBron's Cavaliers. They had 3 rings in 4 years, and they went to make it 4 and 5, and that's when it all went wrong. Because though they made it to the finals, key injuries happened to Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. Though Curry and Draymond were still there, it wasn't enough to stop the destined Toronto Raptors from winning the finals and starting a legendary tumble. Because in the offseason, Durant left the Warriors and went to join Kyrie Irving out in Brooklyn. A move that backfired, by the way. And Klay wasn't just injured, he was injured for the whole next season. And then a freak injury had him out the next season too. It seemed like they were doomed to be a fallen dynasty, until Curry changed that. The return. Their true return didn't start this year, it was last season. Because the season after they failed finals against the Raptors, Curry got injured and the Warriors had just 15 wins in a single season. That was the pandemic year bubble playoffs, which they obviously missed. But then, in the 2020-2021 season, Stephen Curry became a one-man army in the back half of the regular season. He forcibly got the Warriors into the play-in tournament by putting up monster numbers that nearly won him a 3rd MVP trophy. He didn't get it, and he didn't get the win to put them into the full-on playoffs, but he did make a promise that you'll need to fear us 1 year from now. Fast forward to the 2021-2022 season that just ended, and things were looking up for the Warriors right away. They came out with a blazing start that had them in a race against the Phoenix Suns for the best record in the league. Then in early January, Klay Thompson finally returned to the game. It wasn't all smooth sailing, but they made it to the playoffs, and that was key. The playoffs. Their first challenge was that of the Denver Nuggets, who had the reigning and defending MVP via Nikola Jokic. To start this series, Curry was actually on the bench for the first few games, but through incredible offensive power, especially from Curry, they won in 5 games. Then they faced a true test via the Memphis Grizzlies, the surprise team of the year who were powered by a strong set of players and led by Ja Morant. The Grizzlies were a hungry young team and weren't afraid to punch Golden State in the mouth, and even injure one of their players via Gary Payton II. But in the end, 6 games later, Golden State won. And the Western Conference Finals were another surprise team, the Dallas Mavericks, led by Luka Doncic. But despite that team breaking their own curse, the Warriors beat them in 5. And that brought them to the finals, where they would face the Boston Celtics. They were a hungry young team that wanted to prove they deserved to be there. And they definitely punched Golden State in the mouth. Despite not having the home court advantage, they won Game 1 and led 2-1 after Game 3. But then the Warriors regained their composure, and on the backs of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and more, they were able to win in 6 games, and on Boston's park floor, in order to secure their 4th title in 8 years. Oh, and as for Steph Curry, he was the finals MVP. The reactions. Naturally, the reactions poured out of social media, such as this tweet from Steph's brother, Seth Curry. Don't talk about Steph again unless it's in a convo with the all-time great players, and I mean a handful of people to ever touch a basketball. You can just feel that proud brotherly love. A lot of other NBA players reacted too, including Kyle Kuzma, who said, "Steph, I'm motherfucking savage." Word. Ja Morant, who if you recall was one of the people the Warriors beat to get to the finals, had this to say about Curry: top 5 all time. We dig it. A couple of NBA Hall of Famers got in on the act too, including the one and only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. An NBA championship is never just won. It is earned through the pain of endless practice, inevitable losses, and unexpected injuries. Only the strongest prevail. Today, a new golden light shines over the NBA world. Congratulations, champs. Well deserved. And Bill Russell. Congratulations to the Warriors on becoming the 2022 NBA champions. And congratulations to Stephen Curry on winning his first meaning his first Finals MVP trophy, just to be clear, which leads us to a former Finals MVP, Durant's reaction. Yes, it is time to talk about Kevin Durant, because a lot of people have been talking about the Warriors since Durant's departure to Brooklyn and wondering, can the Warriors ever win again without him? And as we can now say, yes they can. And they did it like they did it before Durant came to play. This has led many fans to question the legacy of Durant with the Warriors, and Durant said this online about it. I've been dead since July 4th, 2016, but congrats to the Dubs and my boy Steezy, a Fillmore legend. Man been waiting his whole life for a parade on Market Street. Now this is obviously a joke as he won the titles after 2016, but fans weren't done. Another noted that Durant wasn't loved by the fan base anymore, and he replied, "Love will get you killed." Very dark. It wasn't just fans going on this path though. Fox Sports analyst Nick Wright posited before the finals began that a Warriors title would hurt KD's legacy. I don't think it's picking on Durant to say if this core, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, won a title before him and now they are back in the finals in the same year Durant loses in round 1 and the only team swept in these whole playoffs, one could say that these playoffs went as poorly as possible for Durant's legacy. I think that's right, Wright said. And to be fair, that is what happened. They won without him while he couldn't get out of the first round with Kyrie Irving and got swept to boot. So while his path was very much TBD in terms of success at present, you could very much say he made the wrong choice. The choice. So let's talk about that choice to end things, shall we? Because when Kevin Durant left after the finals loss to the Raptors, a lot of people were wondering why. Was it just because of the money? Was it just because of him wanting to team up with Kyrie Irving? Was it something that the Warriors did to slight him? In truth, we honestly don't know, and we likely never will, because he has been more than cryptic about what happened and why he left. He has thrown shade at the Warriors though, and that has led to many bad feelings, including Warriors players like Draymond Green throwing some shade back. And now they've got another ring to show that they didn't need him, he needed them, as they won it before and after he came to play. Granted, Durant absolutely could go and win the NBA title, still remaining in his career, but now as we can all see, so can the Warriors. So the question is, will the rest of his career be marked by a choice that at present looks like a really bad one? So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at Kevin Durant's reaction to the Golden State Warriors winning another title without him, as well as how others are weighing in on his legacy given his rough time with the Brooklyn Nets? Do you feel as though he's going to try and get back at them via winning his own title? Or will the Warriors just continue to do everything without him? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.